It's Danielle from Black Business Boom. I am so excited to have my guest this evening. Bethany has just been, amazing for my business and helping us with our strategy for growth. So I'm really, really excited to have her here with us this evening. And we're going to be talking about getting your business certified, whether it be as a woman owned business, as a minority owned business, as a veteran owned business, and how you can actually unlock sales and get corporate clients by being certified. And not only that, Bethany is hosting a free webinar just for us next week. And so before I go any further, I want to make sure you all grab that link. It's in the caption of this live stream. Grab that link and get registered for next week because that's where she's going to be really dropping all the gems. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about getting certified. And so let's hop on in. Bethany, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am fantastic as well. And I am really, seriously happy to be having this conversation with you. I've
Thank
gone
you.
through the certification process, and Black Business Boom is certified as a minority owned business. But I tell you, I put it off for a long time because it just felt like such a daunting process. And I think a
Mm.
lot of small business owners feel that way. So let's talk about it, Bethany. What are you hearing from small business owners about the certification process?
So the process is very overwhelming because you understand the value of the certification maybe, and maybe you're just hear about it and you're like maybe I should do it. But then you see the list and it's 6 pages long. And some of these things, like if we're a corporation, maybe we have meeting minutes, maybe we don't. But a lot of us go to the Secretary of State and start our company. So there's some of these things that we see and we're like, I don't have that. So I guess I can't do it. And that's not the case at all. It doesn't have to be a formal thing. You can have meeting minutes that you sit at the kitchen table, you tell your mom, I'm going to start a business. That was your meeting minute. So it doesn't have to be super, super complicated, but it does get pushed down on the list because most of us are doing all the things. We're doing the sales, we're doing the marketing, we're fulfilling customer stuff. So it's like, when do I have time? And then you see the list and you're like, not now. So it's just something that doesn't take priority. And many of us just don't even realize how we can use it. And if we knew that, we would make it a priority.
So let's talk about it. How can we use it? Why is it valuable? Because I think, as you said, we push it down on the list because we don't understand the value in going
Right.
through this process and having to collect all these things. And I'll tell you real quick, one of the things that was valuable for me
Hmm.
in going through the process, we had a contract with one of our corporate clients that was a net 90 contract, and because we
Mm.
became certified, it went to a net 30 contract. That's a huge value add, for a small business owner to not have to wait 90 days on your money is huge for us. So I know
Absolutely.
that one thing, but I know there are other things. Tell us some of the
Right.
other value adds in getting certified.
Absolutely. So one of the things that's critical for us to understand is, regardless of what's going on with affirmative action and the Fearless Fund and all the attorney generals talking about discrimination against Black owned businesses, other than that, many organizations have a supplier diversity team. This team, their job is to help large corporations that spend goo gobs of money do business with diverse small businesses. And they understand we can't flow cash flow for 90 days. They understand we might not have the capacity to build a whole building, but maybe we can take the lobby. Maybe we can do the bathrooms. So their job is to help advocate for us within the organization. That doesn't mean we're guaranteed business, but someone is there to say, okay, it looks like they're interested. Do you have insurance? Do you have someone that can help you go through contracts? So they guide us through that process, and they also will have a conversation with us for capacity. So maybe we don't have the capacity yet, but it's our job to be very transparent and honest with them because they want us to succeed. They see the value in us doing better so we can do better in the community, and us being able to have cash flow so we can hire team. so we can buy the tech, so we can do the things. They want us to win. But if we don't have that certification, that's where they start. Like that's the box that has to be checked before they even can hand us into the person that we need to talk to. So there's so
Because
many
they
things.
don't get credit. So I started to recognize, that many of these corporations, they've set goals or they may be regulated in a way that they have to spend a certain amount with small business owners or with minority business owners. And if you don't have that certification, you can be black all day, but they can't prove it. And
No.
so I didn't realize that 3 years ago. I was like, "I'm black." You all talk to me all the time. My company's called Black Business Boom. We're black over here. But if I didn't have that certification, it didn't matter. And
Mm-mm.
so I had to go through that process to reap some of these benefits,
Right,
including just getting a foot in the door, and helping them to reach their goals.
right. And
So
it's a lot. So it just checks a box and establishes trust and credibility that we did the work. We're a real company. We went through the process. And if we've never done business with corporations, it helps us build trust and credibility, even though that might be our first client that's a corporate client. If we're selling B2C or we're selling B2B, that's different. This is a bigger game, but it also allows us to charge more. It also allows us to scale our business and take our business to the next level.
And I tell folks all the time, one corporate contract can literally change your life. Literally,
Mhm.
believe me, it
Absolutely.
can change your life. It can help you to build wealth. It can change your future. So it's so important. And who is a good fit for certification? Because I think sometimes we're talking to small business owners and they're like, well, I just sell cupcakes, or, I just have my small cleaning company. Is it worth it for me to get certified? So is there a certain type of business that should be getting certified?
Well, there's most service-based businesses, there's an opportunity to sell to corporations. Doesn't matter if you do janitorial, doesn't matter if you do paper shredding, it doesn't matter what your service is. There are even corporations that hire mental health coaches, people that talk about God and spirituality, like things that you wouldn't think
Mhm.
may be an opportunity for you to sell to corporate. And even if you're a product-based businesses, if you sell cupcakes, guess what? They do trade shows, they do events, they do things at their banks, at their branches, at their locations. They give gifts. So you could have a product and there may be an appeal to a corporation to buy that product. So it's really, even if you're a sole proprietor and you've worked on your own, that's okay. As long as you're in business operating, you can register and be certified as a sole proprietor, which means you file personal taxes and you have business expenses. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm kind of just doing that in my garage. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. If you're fulfilling customer projects, if you're fulfilling orders, you're a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So, Bethany, tell us what to expect next week on the webinar, because I'm really excited. I missed the last one. I was so upset that I had to miss the last one, but I'm really excited to know that you have another one. And so, this webinar is all about unlocking corporate sales through getting certified. So,
Right.
tell us, what can we expect in this session?
So we're doing this session just for your community. So this is a Black Business Boom exclusive session just for you all. And we want you to understand, where do you even start? If I'm a Black woman, I could get a minority certification or I can get a woman-owned certification. Which one is a place to start? We're also going to talk about, and there's veteran and they're disabled. So there's 4 different certifications that you can get that many companies recognize. Then we're going to talk about, what do you expect? It's doing business with corporate is different. The sales cycle, the time that it takes to go through procurement, it's different. We have to make sure we can afford to even float net 30. Those are great terms. And that's not a long time in a corporate world where they've got 400 million in the bank. It's not, they're like, what do you mean you need money before 90 days? Why? They don't know what this life is like. So you've got to understand, what do you do even when you get the certification? How can you leverage it? Just having the piece of paper doesn't mean people are going to be knocking down your door being like, oh, you're certified. Thank goodness we were waiting on you. That doesn't happen. So how can you even leverage that? And you can start to leverage that and have conversations now. It's Q4. It's the end of the year. So if corporations have a training budget, if corporations have an event budget, have they spent it? Maybe. So we have an opportunity right now, and it's also slowing down. So there's holiday parties, there's Christmas season. So it's a good time for us to get that paperwork in, to roll up our sleeves. It's like the documentation Olympics. We just got to gather all the documents. But once you have it, you can submit it for whatever certification you apply for. And then it's really about how can you maximize that to grow, stabilize, or grow or scale your business at whatever capacity you have.
Fantastic. Well, I am super excited about this. Although we are minority certified, I've considered, do we need to be woman owned certified? What are the different options, other options that are out there?
Right.
Because there's several different types of certifications and several different certifying bodies. So really knowing how, having some help with navigating that, it's a lot. And so I'm really excited to be bringing this to the community. If you are tuned in and you're a business owner, register for the session next week. I've told folks, again, the cupcake people, you can sell cupcakes to corporate,
Yes.
right? You can
Yes.
sell, especially like during COVID, we saw a lot of corporations start to think outside the box about gifting it for their teams. And I think a lot of that has continued on. My husband gets gifts all the time sent from his job. You could be in that box, that's being sent here, or maybe you curate the box that's being sent to the employees. There's so many opportunities for small business owners to do business with corporations, but it absolutely starts with that certification, especially if you are a minority. All right.
And one
Bethany,
last thing. Hold on.
I was going to say, anything you want to leave us with? Go ahead.
So even if you're product based, I don't want you to think that there's not an opportunity, because we have a candle company and she was like, are they going to buy candles? Like, really? And she actually had this amazing story behind. She suffered a loss. She lost a child, and she started this business just really to take her mind off of everything that was going on in her life. And she has the candles, but now she speaks and basically shares her story. Corporations pay her to share her story. So don't think like, I don't have something that corporations can buy. Figure out, what do I have that they want to buy? And it may be your expertise, it may be your story, it may be your products, it may be a complementary. You have to do a collaboration where's you and somebody else, but you go in together and you team. So don't go into it with the mindset like, well, this is really a fit for me. It may be, and there's 485 billion is spent just on coaches, training, and experts. That's not products, that's not consulting, that's not projects. Coaching, training, and experts. 500 billion a year. We'll figure out what to sell.
Yes, and I tell you, I did an intensive with Bethany earlier this year. She's gonna help you figure out what to sell and how to sell it and how to reach that person. So the whole funnel, I love it. Again, Bethany has just been such a help for Black Business Boom and Booming University, and helping us to find new corporate clients and connect with them, and even find folks that are sponsors and grantees. So it's just been an amazing partnership. She knows what she's talking about. Make sure that you tune in next week on the 18th. There is a link that's in the caption as well as in the chat. Go ahead, get registered on Zoom, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much, Bethany.
Thank you, Danielle. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful